Welcome to Insights into Success, where with your host Paul Dodds, we hope to educate, inspire and motivate you to achieve your own personal success. We talk to guests from all around the world from a variety of walks of life to hear the realities of their own journey to success. What challenges have they faced? How have they coped with failure? And what have been the keys or will be the keys to their own success? In our Read to Succeed interviews, we talk books that have inspired our guests, and for some, they share their secrets to marketing success. Join us as we give you insights into success. Welcome back to Insights into Success, where we're doing a special Read to Succeed interview with Josh Kropkoff, who was on our recent interview. So, Josh, I'm going to hand it back over to you and invite you to tell us a bit about books that have inspired you in your journey so far.
For sure. Thank you. The number one book I'd say for entrepreneurs, especially if you're like early on or, just kind of in a growth period, would be Relentless by Tim Grover. And that is, Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's personal trainer, and he's, an advisor to different basketball players and stuff. But he wrote a second book also, by the way, he wrote called Winning. That's another really good one. But it's just kind of like an attitude adjustment. And I think that it is, just one of those books that like everyone needs to, figure out how to basically ingrain these habits into you to where you're going to perform at an elite level. And so I've actually listened to those ones on audio, on Audible. And I would say that the audio version, is worth it. Like I would actually for this one, and not every book, but for those, I would advise listening to the audio because it's super powerful. And then another one I want to mention is called Essentialism. Actually have this right here. This book changed my entire life. Essentialism by Greg McKeown. So this is about how to eliminate stuff from your life that's not serving you. And it is a business book, but it applies to life. It's called The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. And so many companies need this. Like we actually, in our business, we consult people sometimes on the things taught in that book, because it's really how to carve out the things that are not essential so that you can relentlessly pursue the things that you are striving for, and really how to streamline your life. Highly recommend that one. And then last one that I will also show you here. This is a copywriting book, Triggers by Joe Sugarman. It is fascinating. It's basically the psychology of selling. And it's a really fun read. And if you don't really know anything about copywriting, or you don't like it, or you don't, you feel like it's hard, read this book to start, because I read a lot of other copywriting books before I found this one, and they can be sort of tedious, especially, the classics, which if you're a copywriter or you're doing that, email marketing or something like that, you definitely should read those. But Triggers is, you will learn how to apply these sort of psychological selling principles just in life, and even in conversation with people, and not in a devious way, but even when you're trying to persuade someone of anything, like basic, right? But you learn triggers, and you'll know like what is the the desire to belong, or the desire to collect, or perceived value, like different things like that we all have. And it's kind of learning how to recognize them when people are using those things on you, and then also like use them to get what you want. So it's kind of a cool one. So I'd say those are the big three for me.
And so tell me, you did touch on a little bit before, but your reading style, do you do listen to audio books, but predominantly what sort of method of reading do you prefer?
So I am kind of crazy. So like I have books around, like you can see. So like I've never been able to, maybe not never, but I can't remember a time where I've ever like started one book, completely finished that book, and then started another one in linear fashion. I'm usually reading like 3 or 4 things at the same time, which means sometimes that I don't get through every book. But it also means that I do get through the books that are the best, and they stand out, and I get through them eventually. So like I do have like books on Audible that I'll be listening to, and I listen sometimes at the gym, which is kind of crazy also, because I'll be like working out and listening to like business books, which is kind of weird, but I find that it's kind of soothing to me. I kind of like having that on in the background. Also, if I'm driving or whatever, sometimes I'll throw on an audio book. And then I will have like usually one, sometimes two books, either in my office or in my room near my bed that I'm sort of reading one chapter at a time, or even 10 pages at a time. I'm not somebody who reads quickly. I know people who read an entire book in one sitting in one day. I've never done that. But I kind of like having different, things from books kind of floating around in my head as I go throughout my week. That's my style.
And what about your retention rate? How's your retention rate? And does it vary between an audio book and also a physical book? And also, how the heck do you remember stuff when you're listening to it at the gym?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that I do retain the important stuff. Like with the gym, I usually, those books, if something I hear stands out, because I usually have a physical copy of the book too. So like, for example, like Robert Greene, do you know who Robert Greene is?
Yeah.
Okay. So like I have been on a kick with just getting through his books when I'm in the gym, and it's they're super long audiobooks, like they're like 28 hours or whatever. And so one will last me like 6 months to a year. But I have the physical copies too. So when I hear something that's like really powerful, I'll usually go back and read it. And I think that my retention rate for reading is probably not fantastic, I guess, if I'm being honest, because I definitely find myself going back to books later on just to recall what something said about something. But I still remember, I think, the big points, which will lead me back to parts of it. So that's why I have books like at my desk and stuff, because it's like, if it's a good one, it's like I want to be able to refer to it if I need to.
Yeah.
That also comes from going to law school. That was one of those skills I picked up because you had to be reading so many different things all the time for different classes and different cases and stuff. So, picked up that skill.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I do this Read to Succeed because I think reading is a great way to upskill yourself. I think it's something that probably as a society, we maybe don't do as much as we used to. And through interviews with people like yourself, I've managed to build up an amazing array of recommended books that I've got on my website, which hopefully people can then be inspired to get out there and read them, whether it be as a physical book, an audio book, or on a Kindle or a Kobo. But I think reading's great. I do as much as I can of it, but not as much as I like. It's very easy to get busy in life and not do it. But I think it's a great way to upskill yourself.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you don't have time for it, I always use I always recommend the take small steps approach and just read 10 minutes a day, even if it's just a few pages. And I'll throw this one in there as a bonus. Osho, not for everybody, but if you look up Osho and get his book series called Insights for a New Way of Living. It's like sort of Eastern philosophy meditation stuff, but those are great reads to have where you're not going to read the whole book necessarily, but before bed or waking up in the morning, you read a couple of pages and just kind of have that sort of meditation thing kind of in your head throughout the day. It's very helpful in terms of like productivity and staying focused, and also not letting things get to you, that kind of thing. And I just remembered that because that's one of the things that I was reading at the time period where like I was having business, the early days of the business, and so somebody recommended it to me, so I figured I'd say that one there too. It's definitely a good one.
Fantastic. Well, you're giving us a great selection and real variety within that selection. So I'm sure there will be a book in all those to appeal to most people. But thank you so much, Josh, for taking your time out of your busy day to share with us. It's been enjoyable. And yeah, I look forward to staying in touch and potentially getting you back to talk a bit more next time about email marketing.
For sure. Thank you so much, Paul. And you have a great rest of your day.